Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing, single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We're also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebar2go.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we discuss the fact that the craft bourbon industry is reaching maturity and what this means for consumers in the industry. My name is McNew. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with our special guests, Kathy Cool, Luke Otero, and Jeff Andreezy.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Hey, guys.
Hey, everybody.
Hello. So, we're going to be talking about the craft bourbon market and the fact that we're getting to maturity. There's many craft distilleries that are hitting, double digits at this point. So, and I get it. There's some that are over 40 years old, but again, that's a very, very small group. There's some that are 20 years old. Again, a very tiny group. But then, you start getting into the 10 year, there's a lot of them. And many of our friends' places are 10 years old at this point. So we'll talk about that after the break. For right now, though, Kathy said there's something she wanted to talk about. What is that, Kathy?
Yes. So, fun summer quests you can do in your hometown. We got people from all around the country here tonight on the podcast, so I thought this would be a good one. Something like in St. Louis where you go to like the top 10 custard places in town throughout the summer and make it a quest to kind of complete that.
Conquer those, yeah.
Yeah, and then, or maybe, the best donut shops or splash pads if you have kids or things like that. In your towns, what besides going to distilleries, because we do love to do that, what are some of the quests you think you could come up with that?
Wow, it's August 10th. Yeah, this is late to be asking what we're going to accomplish over the summer. You should have done this on May 10th.
4 weeks. We have 3 more weeks till Labor Day. She's good. We're getting this last bit of
okay, a last push. This is our exciting.
Maybe you hit 3 custard stands in a single day. I don't know.
All right, you got to knock them out three a day to get this thing done. What can be some quests? I think a good quest would be, as a St. Louisan, go to all the museums in Forest Park. There's some really good stuff there. A history museum, art museum. Obviously, we've got the zoo that would count museum-wise too. So there's a lot of culture that can be had there. And sometimes we forget to do those things as St. Louisans, but every once in a while we like to remember that we got some cool stuff here, and it's always changing. Like any museum, it's always evolving, and exhibits move around and stuff like that. So I think that would be a good one to do, especially since summer's getting away from us. So I think that's a good question. I'll see if I can complete that.
Stole mine, because Indianapolis has some really great museums too. We still have Dali alive at the Loom at Newfields, where it's kind of like if you guys went to the Van Gogh thing where they project it. We have Dali right now, and it's crazy.
That's cool.
I've already done it, but I would do it again. And
I like Dali.
And then the Idle-Jorg is right there. So we have a bunch of museums.
I've been Idle-Jorg. Yeah.
And then it's on the White River. So you could do the museums by day. And the White River has boats at night, and they're shaped like swans. So you could do a swan sunset ride, get dinner. And then if you go to the Indians game on a Friday, they do fireworks. So just spend a Friday in Indianapolis, museums, swans, dinner, Indians game.
Okay.
Hanging out downtown on the river.
Hanging out downtown. All right.
So my area of the state here, the county, has the.
You go to the biggest ball of twine.
That's close. It's within driving distance. We have the most lakes per capita in any county in the U.S.
All right.
So there'd be some kind of challenge to get to as many of these if you could. So
just
that's my
idea.
That's my first one. But I have a real one. I threw a challenge out to my buddy Greg, who I barbecue with. The lowest spot in South Dakota is at the Big Stone Lake. That's the lowest spot. That's on the far east, on the Minnesota border of South Dakota. And the town we lived in is 10 miles from there.
Okay.
The highest point is one of the peaks out in the Black Hills. So I challenged him to get up one day, go wade in the foot of Big Stone Lake, and then drive out to the Black Hills and climb the tallest peak. And he and his daughter did that one day.
Wow.
I bet that's beautiful too. That has to be such a nice drive. But
it's about it. Yeah, it's pretty open for a long way. Then you get to the hills and it's beautiful. But I've never heard of anyone else doing that. They wrote him up in the local paper, and I thought it was pretty cool that he went out and actually did that.
Yeah.
The lowest and highest points in Valmy, South Dakota.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. Okay. I wonder what the lowest point is in Missouri. I'm not sure. I wonder if it could be done in the day. We'll have to look at this. Yeah, because the highest point is not very high, so that'd be the positive. That might be able to do it. So
these were completely opposite ends of the state. Not quite 100. Not at kitty corner though. I mean, you got the northeast corner, and you got the Black Hills out towards the southwest side. So it was a pretty good drive. Pretty good drive to get out there, but they got up early and did it.
Okay. All right. Luke, any challenges you'd like to complete this summer?
What I would recommend, not because I already know, is Santa Fe is a tourist destination place. So we have great museums. We're at 7,000 feet at the base of a huge mountain. So, Steve, you know that you've been here.
Yeah.
And, there's a margarita, you can booklet, kind of like the Bourbon Trail booklet. You can go to different bars, get that stamped. So that's a quest of some sort. Yeah. But there's so many other things to do. I mean, you can try and find the best green chili cheeseburger. That would be a nice quest. But we're in a really good part of the season here. 2 weeks ago was the International Folk Art Festival. This week it's the Spanish Art Festival, and in 2 weeks it's the Native American Festival, where they just take over the plaza and just, we get 80 to 100,000 tourists just crawling all over looking to buy something and see some incredible art. And in the meantime, you can do that stuff. You could go to Meow Wolf. You can find a couple of places to have your margaritas and say which one's better. I mean, there's so many quests you could do by yourself and have fun and that's what I would suggest and recommend to anybody.
Okay.
I'm on the next Southwest flight to get the margarita because both of those things sound amazing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Stephanie, you get out here and I will take you there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Meow Wolf's been on my list for a minute. That place looks crazy, but I don't know when
It's pretty cool.
Okay. Last but not least, let's hear from Kathy, who asked the question.
I think that, it's hard to beat the custard shops because we have some really good ones.
Well, we have the best one though, so it's like you can't beat Ted Drew's. You can't beat Ted Drew's.
But there are others out there.
Yes, but the quest, you know the answer to. It's like a Morgan Spurlock documentary. You know what he's going to accomplish.
You're right.
By saying the title. Huh?
I guess I didn't think it through enough. What was my quest going to be?
I think you just said it. It's the custard.
Yeah, I do love a good frozen custard.
Frozen custard's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it would be, there's something fun about going to new dive bars.
Yeah.
And bellying up to the dive bar and making friends with the bartender and the people around you. I bet I could hit 10 new dive bars.
Yeah.
By the end
they should, like Luke was talking about the Margarita Trail thing. They should do like a dive bar trail in St. Louis. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite things, like in any city, is just like, so Indianapolis has Fountain Square and Mass Ave. Just go park somewhere, have somebody drive you, and you bar hop all day to all the little bars, and like you try something new. It's just a fun day. Like you don't have to stay very long. You're there 30 minutes, get your drink, but then you go to the next one, and it's like the best day. I like doing it in Louisville too. You could do that in St. Louis.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Or just go to Key West and just walk. Yeah. So you end up on that Gravity Pulls Facebook group. Yeah. Fun stuff. All right. On that note, guess what, gang? It's time to drink. What is everyone drinking? Let's start with Kathy this time. Kathy, what do you have?
Okay. I'm going to open up a Limousine Rye. I feel like that's a good craft bourbon.
Okay. Oh,
Wow.
That was solid. It's going to be tough to beat. Good luck, everyone. All right.
Yeah, no doubt.
Jeff, you look like you're ready to go. We'll have you go next.
Well, I grabbed Art of the Spirits, the cigar blend. Haven't opened this one yet, so let's give her a try. Oh, gosh, I need help.
Okay. It was nice. It was pleasant once you got past all that squeaking.
Yeah.
But not enough. Kathy has the lead, but McNew's next. McNew, what do you got?
I'm in with a New Green River. See if my microphone actually picks it up.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Wasn't anything near as good as Kathy's.
No, you didn't take the lead, but we did hear it, so that's progress. Luke is next. Let's see what he has.
I've got speaking of craft, Buzzard's Roost. It's a single barrel. It is from the side door, one of Lucas's accounts.
Okay. Oh,
holy!
Whoa! Yeah, Luke took the lead. I think he's going to be in good shape. I've got Wollersheim here. This one was a good first cork pop, and then subsequent ones haven't been very good. So I'm not expecting much here, but it's good bourbon. So let's see. No, all squeak, no pop. So Luke, you win, buddy.
Cheers.
Hey, Luke.
Cheers,
Cheers,
gang.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. We're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to be talking about the bourbon market in America. It's starting to mature, and what that's going to mean for us as consumers and what it's going to mean for the industry. We'll do that in just a few. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my executive bourbon steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Speaking of Executive Bourbon Steward certification, the ABV Barrel Shop in St. Louis, Missouri has developed a unique partnership with the Stave and Thief Society to offer a preparatory class to assist you in getting your Executive Bourbon Steward certification. This prep class costs only $25 and is available to take live or online via Zoom. Graduates of our class receive a coupon code good for 15% off your Executive Bourbon Steward certification held in Louisville, Kentucky. This saves you almost $90. Additionally, you can collaborate with fellow attendees to split travel costs when you go to Louisville. If you're interested in signing up for the class, simply head over to abvbarrelshop.com and check out the classes and events page. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in the spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com. And now, back to the show.
I'm Stephanie McNew. You are listening to the Bourbon Daily. The real name of the palisade is an ampersand. Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're talking about the maturing craft bourbon market.
Yes, we are. So, we go back, let's think about when we started, 2016, so 8 years ago. Craft was really just getting going when you're talking about the masses. I get it. There were some that were even already had celebrated 10-year anniversaries. But now, at this point, there are hundreds and hundreds of craft distilleries that have celebrated or will be celebrating their 10th anniversary very soon. So it's a bit of a game changer, because if we go back 8 years ago, we would talk about, there's a lot of people that said that craft wasn't any good, and it's, it always just tastes like young whiskey and all that. Well, you know what? Now that there's many that are over 10 years old, their stuff isn't necessarily any younger than what's going on with the heritage brands. So there's many craft whiskeys that are out there that are 6, 8, 10 years old and more. So what do we think that the maturing of the craft market means for American whiskey these days? What do you guys think?
Oh, consistently stronger offerings wherever you're buying.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the easy answer for me. Is it's just going to be great.
Yeah.
Bottle after bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with Jeff. Coming from the distributor side, as we have, Steve, we have Buzzards Roost and Hidden Barn, and they're not quite 10, but they're approaching it, and they're holding their own market share. So for me, as a consumer, though, there's a lot of great offerings out there now, and I think the prices are stabilizing. That they're affordable, and the quality is exceptional. So I think as consumers, we're all going to benefit from this.
Yeah, I do too, because people would often say that craft is just too expensive, and hey, you can't compare them on price wise to what they can do at Jim Beam with the volume that they do or stuff like that. And that's not a shot at Jim Beam. It's not a shot at the craft distillers. It's just economies of scale. If you're running a smaller amount, you're producing a smaller amount, obviously your price is going to be higher. But I do think, and in talking with some of my distillery friends, that they're looking at bringing their price down, because now they've been in business long enough where they have inventory, they have barrels built up, where they're not looking at raising their prices. They're looking at, prices coming down. So I think, as Luke mentioned, we're definitely going to see, that's real. We're going to see prices coming down in the world of craft, so which is kind of a cool thing. So going to be a little bit more than a good deal. Yeah.
Sorry, Luke, go ahead.
Stephanie drinking Green River is a great example of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They had their ups and downs. They used OZ Tyler, and now they were old.
Right.
Bardstown Company took them over, and they're still Green River, but they've turned the corner. And
it's companies grow and change like that. Like Green River did a 180, because I wouldn't touch OZ Tyler.
Yeah.
Honest, but Green River, fantastic, and for like $35.
Yeah, you pick up a bottle of whiskey for $35, craft.
It's good.
Yeah. So I think that's the big game changers. Some of those 10-year-olds, craft distilleries are going to do something that this market really needs right now. Because you either go real low or they go real high, but they're finding that spot in the middle. And I think the consumers are going to gravitate to that.
Yeah.
Well, just the sheer volume of offerings of good stuff. supply demand will bring the price down a bit.
Yeah.
And not to mention, like, pricing was on my list, but also, like, the guys that are our friends are getting to experiment now, and it's so fun to watch them get to be like, hey, this is weird, do you want to try it? Absolutely. Like,
McNew, you're dead on with that. And what I mean by that is, you think about craft getting started, they don't have a lot of extra inventory to do things. But again, all the innovation comes from the world of craft. So they were innovating with what they could afford to allocate towards doing different things, finishes and all that. When's the last time you ever saw a heritage brand come out with something that you've never seen before? No, it's always something that they may be doing it better, they may be doing it for cheaper, they may be able to do something with a lot older whiskey, but they're just doing things that have already been done. So the innovation still comes from the craft side. So now that they're 10 years old and more, they've got that inventory where they can experiment even more. So I think, again, it's another thing. It's going to be another offshoot, another benefit for us as consumers, that there's going to be more different things available out there, which is cool. Yeah.
That's got to be a heritage brand miss over the decades, because they had more money to deal with. They had they could have gone played around and they should have had the R&D.
I think, I mean, they have so many hoops to jump through, right? So they can't be like, I want to make this. They got to like ask the whole board if they can make it. But like, I think of Lenny, he's like, I want to make an American single malt, and I want to do this, and I want to do that. He's doing all kinds of crazy things, and it's fun to watch him do that. So I think he makes like the craft distillers make bourbon fun again.
Yeah,
I agree with you 100%. I mean, Lenny's 4-grain is as good as anybody else's.
Right. Yeah, Kathy, what were you going to say?
I was going to say that isn't it people like Lenny that are bringing the American single malt forward?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's not heritage brands that are behind that.
Right. Not doing it. No offense to Jim Beam, but we don't see them out front with that by any means, or Heaven Hill, or any of them.
No. So I
think it'd be big.
All they needed was a little room in the corner. They could have been doing all this, and they didn't.
Right. But that's what happens. It's a matter of complacency. That certainly happens when you're a big organization. It goes back to what McNew said. It's very difficult to shift anything, to get anything approved, experiments and stuff like that. Because once those big distilleries, you know what they are? They're also big businesses, and big businesses are just notoriously not nimble. They can't shift things like somebody like Lenny can do, or Royce can do, or you name any of our Adam Stumpf, or any of our buddies, Demetrius Kane. They can just they on a whim, they want to try experiment with some different grains. Next week, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to get this new different grain in here. We're going to try it, and we'll see what happens. So the innovation happens all the time, and it's one person making that decision. So versus corporation, multiple levels of sign-offs and all this, and then you think you got it all down, and then the accountants take a look at it, they're like, no, not, you're not doing that. So so it's just totally different. So I think we're not only still at good times, and you always hear this. We've been hearing this since I've been in this bourbon industry, that the bubble's getting ready to burst and it's going away and all. I think it's going to continue to grow, and I think it's going to continue to be good for consumers. I do think there's a lot more whiskey being laid down, and I get that there's going to be ramifications from that. But I think from a consumer standpoint, I think it's going to lead to some good things for us as well. I think there will be some consolidation, like we saw in the beer industry when the craft got bigger. Some get snatched up and things like that. But certainly in the short term, and when I say short term, 10 years, I think it's going to be all good for consumers. Long term, who knows what happens once they start consolidating and things like that. You don't want it to get to where all the craft is really just heritage with, under a craft brand. And that could be the case, or could not be. Who knows what the future really holds and that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, as long as they're able to stay creative, then there's going to be guys like me with that fear of missing out that are going to keep buying.
And if they're using pot stills, those pot stills, that doesn't produce a lot of whiskey. So
right, yeah. You definitely want to see if there is some buyouts that begin to happen. You want to see the big guys just kind of leaving them alone. As long as they're making money, it should be, hey, if you're making money, we're going to kind of let you alone and do your thing, and that's the way it should be. And that's and you get some benefits of working under a bigger company. Hopefully they help you out with your marketing and advertising and things like that. But yeah, you gotta let them have their own identity, right? That's important.
For us, COVID 2020, our trajectory was like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like this, but still up on spirits is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So it's flattened out a little, but it's still going up, which we like better than the rocket.
Right.
So
Yeah.
We're programmed out for another 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Strong bourbon.
Yeah, you hear negative things like Beam is, cutting back, and they are. That's not a lie, and things like that. But you also look at they ramped up production based on what happened during COVID, and what happened during COVID, people were buying bottles like crazy, and of course, and particularly at the start of COVID, for the first 6 months of COVID, it seemed like they were all buying the basic brands because, again, there was so much unknown. What's going to happen? Or is things going to show? We're going to be able to get whiskey? Is it, they're buying all the stuff that they knew, and they also didn't know what the future of their jobs were, so they were buying the cheaper stuff. But what blossomed out of COVID, which you hate talking about good things that happened out of COVID, but there were some good things. Once they kind of, that wore off a little bit, and they got a little bit more comfortable, and they knew they still had a job, they began to exploring the world of craft, too. So.
Yeah.
Craft picked up during COVID as well. So
people just had time on their hands. It's like, don't go to
exactly.
work.
Yeah. Such an interesting time. Yeah. So interesting, and we'll continue to talk about it, and that's fun. And we may even look back fondly on some of the things that happened on there. I just never want it to happen again. I don't want to be involved in that shit again. That was
fun with that experience.
Yeah, let's just remember it, talk about it, and hopefully never get back to anything like that. So,
Well, I think the bottom line is that for craft distilleries, the future is bright, and it's even brighter for the consumer.
Yeah, there you go.
Sure.
On that note. What was that? What was the Kathy?
I said, "Yay us! We're the consumers.
Yeah,
we win.
Yay us!"
Well, we'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Jeff, we're going to start with you. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and the Cigar Dojo. Jeff Endrizi, 2 I's and 2 Z's.
All right, Luke.
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn and on Instagram at Luke Otero at Santa Fe Boutique Wine.
All right, Kathy.
You can find me on Instagram at KK Cast Strength.
McNew.
I'm on Instagram at McNew ABV.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website, abvnetwork.com. Check that one out. Everything that we do is out there. Previous shows, blogs, so much more, abvnetwork.com. Come by and see us. The ABV Barrel Shop. You never know who's hanging out there. KK might be there. She's there quite frequently. McNew's there sometimes. Jeff has been there once. Luke?
Oh,
interesting. Luke. It's hurtful.
But right away.
Yeah, check us out, abvbarrelshop.com. McNew, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I'd like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review. That includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. And if you like what we're doing, we ask that you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
Great job today, gang. Finance. We'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Before we let you go, let's talk about one last thing. The ABV Barrel Shop in the St. Louis community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on a couple of things. First of all, single barrels. We are the place where single barrels live. We go to distilleries, taste through the whiskey, select the best barrel, and have it shipped to our store where we present it to you, our customers, by allowing you to try before you buy. We're also known for the classes that we have in our education center in the store, as well as the events we have with industry professionals from the bourbon business. If you are in the St. Louis area, please come by and visit us at 6 Fox Valley Center in Arnold, Missouri. Or at a minimum, at least sign up for our email and text distribution so you know exactly what's going on in our shop over at abvbarrelshop.com. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.